Miracle. So we saw him be really aggressive, for example, on the IO. The Arc Warden in this case, it can be aggressive, but you do want to have a bit more emphasis on farm, just taking it slow, building up to the point where you are at, I'd say, BOT's Maelstrom is a comfy spot, or BOT's Orchid, if you're looking for that control. Once you're there, that's when you expect Miracle to go. Before that, he has to ramp up, right? It's an Arc Warden. You're going to be sticking to farming, shoving out waves safely, not committing too hard until you have those items up.
Speaking of which, John, while we have a short break, did I tell you we have a new enemy, you and I?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
We are
is it?
no longer enemies with the Weebs, John. We've we've joined alliances with the Weebs. I found a new enemy for us.
What is it?
It's the K-pop people, John. The K-pop fans. I've been scrolling Twitter,
Oh no.
and what I found on Twitter, John, is there's people that seem to just put gifs of K-pop under comments that have nothing to do with it. I don't understand it. And it upsets me quite a lot, John. So we're going to war with them. It's done.
Oh man. Well, where are you looking on Twitter that you find this? I
Everywhere,
mean, it's
John.
been long known. It's been long known that K-pop stands are a breed of their own, Mike. But I'd like to welcome you to the long, ongoing war. It's been a long, bloody one. I've seen blows traded over those stands and the weebs. It's been a really weird back and forth. It's a weird one, K-pop. Like they tried to cancel Joji because he was Filthy Frank. No one. That's what surprised me. No one knew Joji was Filthy Frank. Like you couldn't make that connection. Like this guy who wears a pink suit and does some really weird stuff. It took them years, like literally a year or two, when he went into full Joji mode before they found out. Yeah, you're not dealing with the smartest of the smartest there, Mike.
I I have no idea what you just said, John. And and I'll be quite frank, John. I couldn't care less because I hate it. I hate it so much. Why are they commenting
about it.
with these gifs of just don't worry about it, John. We'll talk about it later. Anyway, good luck, have funs are out. Game number 2, Aster.Aries versus T1. Haru is going to find out that Polison is going to be landing up against him on the Venomancer. Of course, Sam H also going to be there on the offlane LC. Another very hard lane for Haru. So, you've got the nice high armor on the TB, feels nice, but I think the Veno is still going to be quite infuriating to have to play against.
Oh, definitely. It's that early poison sinks gonna make it harder for you to zip in and out to get your last hits. It makes it easier to land a good overwhelming odds, which means when Metamorphosis is down, you're probably not gonna get the safest last hits here on that terribly. And that's the key factor. We've been talking about timings, but Metamorphosis is a massive one to commit. And if you are down that in lane, you're gonna need a lot of support to actually maintain some farm there.
Your Dream on the mid Wind Ranger. Going to be up against Phoenix on the Void Spirit. Be a fairly even matchup between these two in this laning phase. I doubt Phoenix suffers too much here on this Void Spirit up against the Wind Ranger. Really depends how well In Your Dream does play the matchup, but with Resonant Pulse, it's just so hard to kill this Void Spirit off. Sure, you've got Power Shot, which does do a lot of damage, but you got to land it first. It's easier said than done.
Yeah, I think you do have a bit of uptime to play with Windrun as well, so you can trade some pretty good hits as Wind Ranger. But when it boils down to it, I do agree with you. Should be dead even until maybe the level 5 mark, definitely level 6 for our Void Spirit, and we'll see just how fast they can reach that point. Gonna be expecting maybe some supports to move in, and that's where these other lanes come in. Up top, of course, you've got Miracle with Jokam on the Arc Warden clock up against Rico and our offlane DP. So they are shaking it up here. The offlane DP makes its appearance once more. Rico is really going to be key. Like once he gets level 2, level 3, that's when you expect a little bit more aggression to come out. Of course, you do have some good sustain with the Death Prophet as well. So it's not particularly easy lane for JoeCam to isolate someone and for them to play with the damage that the Arc Warden has, but it's also not the safest one for Aries to overextend it.
Of course, the bot lane going decently so far for Haru on the Terrorblade, but mind you, he did just finish using that Metamorphosis. So now without that meta, it should be a slight bit more of a struggle here for Aries. Even LWW using all his mana up on Thunder Strikes. Does have plenty of regen though, in all fairness.
It's a really slow lane, and the one bad thing for LWW is Sam H just pops press the attack and takes off that Thunder Strike, and there's a lot of damage here.
Yeah, they just rush LWW. Kinetic Field going to be expended. It's real shame for the Disruptor, right? You don't really want to waste your mana using Kinetic Field to save yourself like that if you can avoid it, but he had to. And well, Paulson even getting Haru's Courier. It's really going to be annoying for Haru.
It's a hard lane. Like, this harassment from LWW, you can't really focus it on Sam H, and they're down to really no regen on LWW, just a clarity left. So there's not much presence left from your Disruptor once the harassment starts to play in again. The only saving grace is that Sam H doesn't have mana as well. So they're kind of saved out on any further harassment, but Haru, you know, he's keeping even, which is decent, but it's not exactly a smooth start for Trailblade.
Top lane, JoeCam does go down to the clockwork. Rico going to lose his own life. And bot lane, Paulson getting very low. Haru cannot keep up. Sam H just going to keep mad fighting. And now Paulson, he came back in and he will get punished. But Haru is also going to die. I'd still say T1 is going to be very satisfied with those trades.
Oh, definitely. They managed to take the Terrorblade out, the big guy we were talking about that needs farm. He was under Metamorphosis as well. So he pops back in lane. He's going to be melee for a long time. Not a good time for him.
Did you just see what In Your Dream did?
He tried to snipe.
Not only did he try to snipe, John, Phoenix used the salve right as he was walking out. In Your Dream, just blind power shot, cancels the salve off. Phoenix has no regen left. He's going for the Illusion Rune, but In Your Dream is going to punish him for that. And Paulson also going to come in now with a nice gale onto Rico. Kick away into the roll. He will be just fine.
Oh yeah, it's these small plays that really makes IYD shine. He denied off that Illu Rune as well. So Phoenix now just forced to walk back home. He needs to top that bottle up. That's EXP, that's farm he's missing out in mid. They're splitting it up to Rico, but it's really not the hero that wants to take control of mid. So you're losing out on a lot, Aries. You're just going to be punished for these small tiny movements they're making here and there. And of course, with your Earth Spirit mid, frees up the top lane a bit for our Arc Warden to just shine.
Paulson looks like he's going to run into LWW now. Mid lane, Rico getting very low. In Your Dream. Just dealing with both of them at once.
JoeCam.
He's just perfectly fine. Rico will go ahead and take the bounty rune away, and JoeCam will just continue to chase him across the map. Sam H now losing his own courier on the LC. It's a quiet period right now.
Yeah, very static. I was surprised because JoeCam, he had a battery assault going. He had Cogs. Could have tried to make a play on the Earth Spirit, but he wanted the runes instead. Although Miracle, he jumped.
Top lane, LWW also going to rotate. Miracle still relatively healthy, but he is completely surrounded and looks like he will drop. Spark Wraith is at least going to fly out to Rico, but JoeCam will take the kill on the clockwork. And now the glimpse back onto JoeCam. Go for a TP play, and they have nothing to cancel.
Oh, no.
So he'll be fine. But you got the Arc Warden, right? I mean, you couldn't really ask for much more.
Yeah, it feels like the same kind of trade that happened bot earlier when they lost their TB. Just as important for T1 to not drop Miracle. These are cores that need to farm up, need to build up, really start to escalate, and every single death starts to count. You do see Miracle actually switch down bot, so kind of the same timing there when he played the IO. Just ready to go in a different lane, ready to shove in the tower.
He's going for that very, very early push with the 5-minute siege creep. The Aster.Aries are going to do a similar thing, trying to start this push up at the top tier 1 tower, but Paulson is going to be on defense duty. And this Veno, even though he's only level 4, these Plague Wards are going to make it much harder. But Rico is going to spot him out, breaking down the tree line, and that should be Paulson just dead. He's going to buy as much time as possible. In fact, there will be a TP. Sam H wants the fight, but he gets glimpsed back immediately in Paulson. Gonna die anyway. But now the rest of the team of T1 are here, and they still want to take this team fight. LWW gonna be left alone to die. The rest of Aries are basically out. Rico the only one left, but In Your Dream doesn't seem to know about his presence.
Yeah, that's a favorable tower trade in the end for T1. They did take the bot tier 1. So they've got the step up, they find the kill, and they keep it relatively good. They still keep a 1k lead on their end, 4-4. They're going to try to find more. They did toss IYD and Phoenix.
Jocam going for a run. They got the Spirit Siphon off. Now with the roll in from Rico, but he's still alive. Those raindrops actually make him quite tanky. He's not going to die. Jocam. That's a slight bit of a concern here for Aster.Aries, having to commit that much on a clockwork and not getting the kill. Well, Jocam, he's got the Tranquils up. He's going to be just fine to heal himself up. And he also has some raindrops on the way. So seeing the value of them in this game, and I dare say that's what kept him alive in the last little engagement.
Oh, definitely. Like that beautiful shackle from IYD did bite him a lot of space as well. But T1, they're still forcing that movement up top. Like, they're still trying to clump around here. Aries
should die this time. Jocam is gone. Now they'll pop the Exorcism going after this tier 1 top tower. It looks like T1 will be just fine to let them have it, as they already got the bottom tier 1 anyway. In fact, LWW, I'm not sure how he's ended up there, but just to be a little bit wary just in case Miracle does check the tree line. But he does not. You know, John, I never realized how slow our Quarter was without Poots. He has 285 movements. I mean, just look at that.
Yeah, it's he's not used to walking himself, man. He's used to having items, you know. He's a privileged kid still.
He might be dead. Rico gonna roll in. Phoenix also around the area. They're just gonna jump him, and Miracle just sticking around there. He's gonna get punished, but while he's dying like that, the side of Aster.Aries, they lose the mid-tier 1 tower.
Yeah, and I think in the end, that's worthwhile for T1. That's why Miracle's setting that tip out. They're going to make an aggressive movement from that tower, too.
You've got the Jewel available. Sam H not wanting to go after DP. Paulson does connect with the Gale, and now with the Focus Fire, they should have enough, unless In Your Dream stops attacking. The Sunder was also there from our TB, but eventually, they will be able to kill off the DP. T1, looks like they're slowly getting back into their groove.
Yeah, and they still maintain a slight lead. It's a lot more even coming out from Aries. They're still finding some steady farm here. Haru's been given a lot more space, so his progression at the 10-minute mark a lot better than it was. In fact, all the farm across each core is relatively even. You only see IYD pulling slightly ahead, 200 in front of Phoenix, but that's basically it. Really tight lid. You see Aries, they smoke up. Want to make a play happen here.
Is In Your Dream rushing the MKB or something? He's just holding 2.2k. He's It always makes me wonder with these Wind Ranger plays when they're holding that much gold, what they're up to. He may be trying to rush the MKB just because he can. Paulson, however, definitely cannot, as he will die. In Your Dream, sticking around and farming. This could be dangerous for him, as they are waiting for him to run up the hill, though. No, Jocam just hook shots in, gets a double man cogs off. That'll be LWW dead. Now Rico being trapped up does also go down, and Phoenix, he's going to be a man on the run, but Sam H has the jewel and he wants to fight right here, right now. Phoenix could not get the actual step off as he had no charges. And that'll mean a double kill out for In Your Dream and our first duel victory for our Legion commander.
And that's a big set of kills going the way of T1. That was Aries smoked up, mind you. They immediately blow up Paulson, but a Venomancer is not a high-value target. They lose a lot more in exchange. They do get space out for Haru, who again is farming up quite well, but you look back at IYD, Mike, you did make the right call out. It is going to be the MKB rush for our Wind Ranger, and with this amount of gold early on, it's going to be a really early timing on that MKB. So that's a major power spike for Ares to have to watch out for. And you also have the Midas already up and running on Miracle, and that's the point where Arc Warden just finds, free farm it. It's a free set of gold every single time. Gonna be able to really start to hammer that escalation up on this Arc Warden, and Ares, after that one rotation top, haven't really kept a check on this Arc Warden anymore.
Sam H. Phoenix gonna take the illusion away, but Sam H is looking for a duel attempt here. Won't quite be able to secure one. That's just fine. I mean, the way things are going for T1 at the moment, they must be very, very satisfied. Perhaps the only concern right now is Haru on the Terrorblade, who is just still farming very nicely. Second in net worth only to In Your Dream. He is going for the S&Y build on this TB, so the good old God King build is what I like to call it, John.
Yeah. There's a lot of value if you do go for the disassembly play. There is a lot of value in something like a Halberd here, so I don't mind this at all. They do smoke up. They've got their ults up. You want to play around that tempo we were talking about and try to find a kill.
It's about that time. In Your Dream. Just wind run away. Oh, that's... yeah.
Nah.
Not good news. And yeah, I just realized the hero levels are quite different in the mid lane. In Your Dream sitting at 10. Our DP sitting at 8. Not a great spot.
It's been a slower start for our DP. Phoenix is keeping up quite well though, level 9, so it's just about a half difference there with a Void Spirit at the least. But they haven't really built around that Void Spirit. We talk about the level 6 timing a lot in that hero. We're not seeing Phoenix make those big plays beyond that earlier fight. It's been slower since they took out that tier 1 top. You start to look at Ares and wonder why that mid-tier 1 of T1 is still so healthy. Like, they are not pushing at all. They've had Exorcism up for such a long time. Well, they need to take these objectives.
That's the question we have every time, though, isn't it? It's like, you've got this hero that has this big ultimate that can really just push down towers so quick, but you never find an opportunity to use it. It really is a bait pick, John, right? You trap yourself in with this hero, with this DP.
Yeah, it limits you. It gives you a hard limit in your timings. It gives you a set start. They've just got to make progress on this mid tier 1, but they haven't. I mean, T1 took the opposing mid first. This is not how it should be. It reminds me of that Brood, right? We were expecting Phoenix on the Brood to take over, but they just didn't. Now it's the same thing here. They're just not finding those objectives just yet.
Miracle just messing around with Phoenix. Tempest double. Miracle is going for the standard Maelstrom build after the minus on the Arc Warden. Nothing too surprising there. This farm should really start to escalate soon on this Arc Warden, considering he has had the Midas for a while, but In Your Dream, able to kill off LWW, still has this DD room bottled up.
Yeah, that's it's a classic Wind Ranger play. It's like a Zeus when they pop Thunder Gods on someone with 50 HP. Just securing a kill with a power shot away from Jokam. It's not his to take, unfortunately. Such is the life of a support, but they continue to build up. You see Ares, they are clumping around the bot tier 1, Miracle.
They try and make the jump, they do connect with the roll. Now a nice Magnetize out. Miracle is going to go down to Phoenix. Magnetize continues, but now Poison Nova out from Polison, and In Your Dream, he is hitting very hard with that MKB. But they do get a massive pick off in the Arc Warden. Looks like that should be it. Rico, he has not been spotted in that tree line. They will just end up leaving that bottom tier 1 tower at that.
It's a great pickup for Ares. Again, they continue to buy time for Haru to just free farm. He does have the SNY up. He's going into an MKB of his own. So our Terrorblade's actually caught up really well. Number 1 in net worth now, above IYD. That's where he wants to be. And speaking of...
Static Storm going to be dropped In Your Dream. How do you survive this one? He doesn't. A big pick off there from Aster.Aries. Your Dream
Ooh.
just not spotting them out, but mid lane, a duel is there, and they have caught the DP once again. Shengxi just unable to survive as he gets surrounded like that on the DP.
Yeah, I love that movement from T1. They just immediately punish after losing their mid. Not the best trade-off, off-laner for a mid, but it's still something. You're getting dual wins, and they spot Haru out.
They'll go for the Sunder play and the TP, but a great hook shot in from Jokam. Haru, that is a tough position to be in. Just no way out of it. He tries for the TP play, but if that doesn't work, nothing else will.
No, it's a really good pickup for T1. So that is basically a mid laner for the safe laner trade, and the safe laner's a lot bigger. I mean, Haru's still ahead now. He's still having a fantastic time in Terrorblade, but he is being punished. So T1, as long as they keep that sort of movement up, I think they're going to have a fantastic time. You look at Miracle, he does have the Maelstrom. He's working onto those BOTs, and once you have those BOTs, you're going to be in for a fantastic time. However, I have to say, the vision coming out here from Ares is spectacular. A lot of wards in that top dire jungle. Completely aware as to where Miracle's farming up. That should allow them to make some sneaky plays down the line.
Yeah, Miracle still just trying to get himself towards that top of the net worth board, but so far it's just been all Haru and In Your Dream. Speaking of Haru, he's going to be working towards his own MKB now. It'll take a bit of time, but see how much he can afford to take. T1, they are starting to slow down a little bit with their own draft. Like, In Your Dream, he got that fast MKB and he just started killing people, but he's still taking the time to farm up himself, as he does need to work towards his own BKB. We saw the silences really do rule the Wind Ranger, but a big smoke out into a roll, but Jokam is going to be there to block the roll, gets the cogs off. However, they have gotten the Wind Ranger. In Your Dream is going to die, and so is Jokam.
Yeah, that's a couple of good pickoffs there. They do still have that Exorcism running. They could go for a mid-tier 1 push. They wanted to try for that objective, which they need to really take out here.
Poison Nova Gale out from Polison, but they are willing to take the team fight here for Aster.Aries. Gonna jump on the Tempest Double of Miracle. Don't really want to throw those away for free like that.
Wow.
At least it's a nice deny from Polison.
Oh. that was just on the edge. That one last hit he got out. Just outstanding, taking that objective out. So they don't get the gold, they do get the control. Those wards we were talking about earlier did expire, but with the mid-tier 1 gone, gives him a little bit more nudge room to sneak back in and get some vision down. T1, this is when their draft slows down. You pointed it out, but you've got IYD farming up as well, on top of Miracle just farming. This is the moment for Ares to get this lineup up and running, and they make great use of that first Exorcism. They need more to come out. They can't rest on their laurels, but they keep that pace up. T1, they don't quite look ready for a full 5v5 yet.
Another smoke up, T1. Rush towards the banner rune spots. Phoenix and Rico going to hang around with each other up that top lane. Still going to make their way up top, but there is a third now in the form of LWW. Shackle going to be there, but Static Storm going to be dropped. Not really catching anyone, however, apart from Sam H. Still going to be okay to survive this. The DP going to go and does kill off the LC. Now Phoenix going on to In Your Dream. Jokam just trying to keep him alive, but gets the cogs off and traps them both in. Haru going to chase with the meta. Jokam very, very low, but here comes the Tempest Double out from Miracle. Now the Gale out from Polison. Jokam still being chased down, does hookshot away now. Meanwhile, Polison is caught out by Phoenix, but there goes LWW. Miracle still fighting, does end up losing his Tempest Double. That'll pretty much be it. Another really strange engagement from both sides.
Yeah, it's not going cleanly for either side. That does end up better for Ares in the end. Do manage to at least take Sam H down a peg. They've gotten a core kill there for a couple of supports traded out. Still, that's a dual win for Sam H. I believe that's all they're looking for right now. Trying to stack up the damage on the LC. can see Sam H, he is working for his Blade Mail. Really close to having that up. Once that's up, our LC should be able to get a lot more damage out, especially if you're going to target down Haru as a dual target. So you should be able to melt through Terrorblade a lot better once that's up. And that's really going to be one of the timings for T1 to play around. Beyond that, it's still the same story. IYD still waiting for his BKB. Miracle has his travels, is looking for the upgrade on the Mjolnir. Just wants that up and running. And by then, that's when the split push really kicks into gear for T1. If Aries was having trouble finding objectives before, it's going to be a lot harder to trade after. You do smoke up, though.
Aries gonna make a roll in. They do connect onto In Your Dream once again, and now Phoenix is there, and this Wind Ranger is not working out anymore as even Joe Cam. Gonna go down.
It's that BKB. It's the silences you mentioned. You can't get anything done when you're jumped like that. You're gonna need a fast BKB up and running. Aries takes the opportunity to take over that top dire jungle once more. That was the Exorcism pot. They're not finding an objective for that per se, but they've got the momentum on their side. They're the ones shoving out lanes now. They're the ones sticking together and really starting to take control of this map.
Paulison. Rico just off target there. Mind you, he had no vision. He was going in blind. Haru now has the MKB up, looking very, very good on that Terrorblade. Still just slightly behind Miracle in terms of net worth, but it's an Arc Warden. You expect to be behind. It's perfectly fine.
Oh, yeah, this MKB is going to ruin that bubble that you do have on the side of T1. Gonna have to be careful as they engage in the next fight. They've smoked up. They've got the duel in Sam H. They've got a Blade Mail.
You kind of wondered, like, is it not worth just farming the BKB first on In Your Dream? They've done this at least 3 or 4 times now. Bookshot not going to connect. They go for the duel, however. They do catch out the Earth Spirit, so Rico is dead, and well, the rest of T1 looks like they're going to try and rush the Roshan pit.
Yeah, they have taken out one of the long-range jumpers. There's not going to be an Exorcism for a while, but that does force the buyback. They know it's happening.
Isn't Aghanim Scepter also up on Phoenix now? So you've got even more silence out from Aster.Aries. You just wonder. I mean, you'd love that BKB at the moment, right? Because if you had that BKB, you just take the Roshan. You just know nothing's going to stop you from taking it.
Yeah, it's not coming out fast enough for IYD. He's just forced to also be really a big playmaker on the Wind Ranger. They can't just rely on Sam H to set up. And that just means, you know, all of this jungle farms taken by Miracle. Not enough space in the map for these 2 heroes to sustain. It's never enough space when you have an Arc Warden. So it just complicates matters. Just clump around the jungle, both sides looking for an opportunity around Roche.
Roll in. Rico does catch out. Who is that, in fact? It is going to be Paulison. Gets the poison over in time. But they will lose LWW. Still, the Static Storm was there. And here we go again. They just melt. Buybacks are out. They want to keep going. Miracle, he's reinitiated back onto that DP. That Exorcism is quite painful, however, but they finally take her out. Now they continue. These buybacks, they want to make as much happen as possible, and In Your Dream is trying to go after Haru, it seems, but it's just fine. They might just try the Roshan play again.
Yeah, they were forced to buy back their T1. They want to maximize these spells, but Aries probably not going to give that for free.
No, they are not. Still, Jewel is going to be out onto Haru, but he is hitting like a truck. Still, Sam H does get there in time. Rico doesn't want to die back. Will roll away. Power shot not going to land out from In Your Dream. And Paulison, rather Phoenix, going to be chased on the Void Spirit. And he has no Astral Step charges left, which means In Your Dream is going to be able to clean him up. And now it's a matter of, do you want a Roshan or do you want a tower? They are going for the Roshan play.
Yeah, I mean, after you buy back like that, you're going to want those extra lives. Give yourself some leeway. It's going to be a really easy rush to take when you have the Arc Warden. You find better trades in the end here. T1, I love that they just instantly snap onto the buyback. They knew there was no DP, no Exorcism, no Metamorphosis. They can just really take over there and LWW.
He's out of position here on the Disruptor. Limit not gonna save him. He's gonna die. Looks like T1 are starting to drag it back their way now. 2k net worth lead. BKB is on the way for In Your Dream, so he's going to be feeling a hell of a lot safer. But the current state of Aster.Aries, you wonder now, are they doing enough?
I'd say it's not too bad. This kind of lead for T1, you somewhat expected at some point because it's an Arc Warden game. You've got a BKB now, speaking of, on Miracle as well, but they're clumping up. They do have their spells up. They could try to go for something risky into Aegis, but you need to play that tempo. Every single time you're waiting around with your spells up, it's never a good sign. They do have some key items up. You look at Shang-Chi, he does have the Heaven's Halberd up on the DP. So you've got the Disarm to deal with at least IYD or Sam H, and that will put a dent in T1's fights if you manage to use that item. So you've got that out for you. Of course, we were talking about Phoenix's Ag. Ag's on the Void Spirit, which has been doing phenomenal work. It's just with the BKBs up, it's not going to be enough. And T1, with this power spike, they've smoked up.
Joe Cam gonna run again into LWW, and does go hook yet? No, he does through the Glimmer Cave, but there's plenty of help around for this Disruptor this time. Still, Shackle out, Power Shot, and Focus Fire all on the DP. So In Your Dream blows him up. Rico still trying to control up this LC, but Sam H not gonna die, so Rico will have to roll out of there. Meanwhile, Miracle killing off that Disruptor, LWW. They want to make a play with the Aegis, it seems. They might even try for the high ground attempt.
Yeah, they've got the Arc Warden. They can melt towers fast. They also have those fresh BKBs. They just want to make use of everything they have. There's no Exorcism, even if the DP respawns. The options are rather limited for Aries. They've got to get this one perfect to stop the push.
Miracle. He's going to Tempest double. He's going to eventually give it away. With the Aegis, he's still feeling confident. And of course, you could just magnetic field like that, and there's no way they can actually hit you. Tier 3 tower with the focus fire from In Your Dream is not going to last very long, but they are starting to just try and kite back outwards, T1. Not wanting to risk throwing the game away, especially considering the state they have it in right now. Phoenix is going to go in onto our Arc Water, but that is just the Tempest double. Miracle still has time. He might go again.
Yeah, I mean, they really just know that there's one spell down in Aries. Without that Exorcism, DP's not as much of a threat overall. They can just slowly tick away at those towers, looking for an opening with Sam H to blink in at the back.
Slowly chipping away. They do smoke up. Phoenix jumping back in onto the real Arc Warden, but does also back off. It's a very, very slow siege, but it is working for T1. Aster.Aries still just trying to find a way to take this team fight. T1 are making it look quite impossible to take it. They just have no way to initiate properly, but they are going to roll in Rico. He'll start with the Magnetize, with Phoenix jumping in as well, but Haru, he's been shackled up. In Your Dream does blow up the TP, and now the TP, or rather DP, is going to go down. Shang-Chi, he's gone. There was a duel out as well from Sam H. Looks like they do kill off Rico, and Phoenix is the only man left. Not going to last very long at this rate. Try and survive, but the Cogs pushback from Joe Cam. They can go back for that melee barracks, which, by the way, is still up.
Yeah, but not for long, and that is a massive loss for Aries. Just one rack's completely melted, and they're still going to find LWW in the end. IYD, there you go.
Very nice, a full team wipeout. In Your Dream almost has the Ags up now as well, by the way, John.
Oh, man. It's just too much now from T1. We're at the same point, way later in the game, 31 minutes in. 21 to 27, 14k lead. Tier 2 tower down mid melt. They still have the Aegis for a second. It's going to expire. So there's that for Aries for this next defense. No Aegis to deal with. they just they don't have Metamorphosis when their TV's up. They do have Exorcism. Maybe that's enough. It's just one spell. Again, just one spell. And that's always the issue with this kind of duo.
And it is. They do take the tier 3 mid and just back off here T1. They still do have the outer tier 2 tower if they want to start working on that, but I mean, they've been at the Radiant base for so long now that they might be getting a bit homesick. Or maybe not. Miracle's still looking towards that tier 2 tower, so it looks like we are going to go as In Your Dream is just feeding off LWW now.
This is the point where Wind Ranger is just a nightmare for the supports. You've got the Ags, you've got so much mobility with all the Wind Run spam you actually do have, and it's always the poor supports that are going to cop it. That does buy space for the tier 2 up top to melt. So it's now down to the last 2 racks here.
Well, they take out the Tempest double.
Oh man, that I just noticed that quickening charm on Miracle. His Tempest double has like 3 seconds downtime. 3 seconds down. If it naturally just dies in 3 seconds, you're gonna have another.
That's why we love our
really
quarter, John. Very balanced hero.
This is the easiest push of my life. You just drop this dude. You don't have any commitment. And the tower just melts.
Yeah. Oh, my Tempest double wore off, John. Do I have an? Oh, look at that! I have another one.
It's just silly. Look at that. He even mines it up. You can't even walk up here until the creep wave comes in.
Hook shot. It's going to be out. Joe Cam with the Cogs pushback now, and that is going to be Haru gone. Phoenix trying to run away. Joe Cam. Static Storm is going to be decent, but Miracle's got the BKB up, and well, they're going to try and fight this, but it is not looking good, especially without a buyback on your Terrorblade. But they are going to commit. The rest of their buybacks to try and fight back. LWW just going to auto-attack and try to contribute, but no, they call it. GG is called. T1 will get the victory 2-0 and Aster.Aries. I believe that will be it for them.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame for Aries, but that is the end of her run. T1 securing their spot in the lower bracket with that victory.